Brennan Center had heard from various community groups that we work with in New York that there were concerns about the kind of training that was being done by the NYPD for counterterrorism purposes. Then in January of 2011, the Village Voice published a story which indicated that a film called The Third Jihad had been used as part of training. The NYPD's response to that was to say that the film had in fact been shown, but it was only shown a couple of times by mistake. We were interested to sort of validate what the NYPD had claimed, and more broadly to also understand what their procedures were for approving particular training materials. So we filed a Freedom of Information law request, and finally, right at the end of last year, so at the end of December, they produced about 20 pages of documents to us, which showed that some 1,500 police officers had been shown this film over a course of about at least 3 months. What we have been looking at very closely over the last several years is how counterterrorism policies and practices that have been put in place since 9/11 have impacted our civil rights. And while the sort of erosion of civil rights post 9/11 has affected all Americans, I mean, it really is an American issue, it's obvious that the Muslim American community has been most impacted by these changes. The NYPD should have an inspector general, which would determine whether or not their work was being carried out in accordance with the law. Right now, all city agencies except the New York City Police Department have an external inspector general who's watching over their work. We also think that, if the NYPD is going to conduct a standalone surveillance operation, it's sort of acting like a mini FBI, and the FBI has very significant oversight structures in place. We believe that since the NYPD is clearly conducting the same type of operations, then it too should be subject to at least that minimum level of oversight. I think everybody should be concerned about it, actually. Minority religious groups, Christians, Jews, Buddhists, Hindus, everybody, because at the end of the day, this is one of the most fundamental principles of our democracy, which is that we should be able to pray and to discuss our religion freely, and that shouldn't be the basis in which government should start monitoring us. And so I think that by conducting this kind of surveillance on the basis of religion and expressions of religion, the NYPD has really butted up against one of the core principles of our democracy. And I think you see also that not just the Muslim community, but various religious leaders have come together to protest against this kind of religious profiling.